What's up guys? Today I'm taking a look at this new camera module for the Raspberry Pi. Arducam sent this over for me to preview, and this new module isn't out yet. There's a Kickstarter for this beginning November 30th, and you'll be able to pick this camera up for your Raspberry Pi for 25 bucks. The big selling point of this new camera module in comparison to the old models is that this one does have autofocus where the previous models did not. Quick disclaimer, Arducam did send me this module for free for review purposes, but that will in no way influence my opinion of the product. However, today's video is not really a full review. This is just a quick look. I'm going to pull the camera out of the box, set it up, and do some day one playing around. So if there's anything I miss or anything you would like me to check out in a full review, be sure to post your suggestions in the comments below. But with all of that being said, let's move on with setup. The physical side of things is pretty simple. You've just got to be a bit meticulous with this ribbon cable. Just plug the ribbon cable into the camera port and make sure that the blue side of the cable is facing the side of the Raspberry Pi with the USB ports. Admittedly, my final rig looks a little jank, but it should get the job done for what I'm doing today. And for the software side of setup, nothing fancy. I like to work smart, not hard. So I'm just following the steps on Arducam's website and copying and pasting all of the commands into the terminal to get libcam installed. I'll put a link to these instructions in the description, but there's really nothing to it. Just read the step, do the step, and get the banana. Okay, and now for the moment of truth. If we run this command right here, this should give us a preview image. So here we go. Okay, and it looks pretty good to me. Now the audio may be off because I'm recording this through a capture card, the output of the Pi through a capture card, and my audio into the computer with the capture card. So the audio sync could be a little bit off. So overall, I think this camera looks pretty good. I have a single ring light on right now, so I would say that as far as lighting goes, this camera handles it pretty well. Let me turn on some extra lighting here. Okay, yeah, this is just a quick and dirty here. I've not really messed with any kind of exposure settings in the camera, but I think overall, this looks better than most webcams that I've seen. Like I said, I haven't messed with any of the exposure in the camera, so these spots are a little bit hot, but I'm not going to worry about that now. All right, so I've messed around with this a bit, and it's not a true continuous autofocus. It basically grabs focus when you first open the camera with that autofocus command. So if I try and go out of focus, it doesn't happen. All right, so it is considerably later in the evening, and I had overlooked something in the documentation, and I want to go over that now. So I forgot to add a -- key press after the -- autofocus command. So we're going to add that in now, and I'm going to go over that and show you how we can refocus on the fly. And as you can see here, I've got the key press command entered into the command line. So we're going to try that out now. Okay, so we've got the camera has focused on me, and let me move this window out of the way because everything is done through this window right here. So if we hit F and then enter, it's going to refocus. It just refocused on me, so I was the subject there. Let's test this out with Spider-Man here. And that's pretty fast autofocus. I wish there were some way to actually autofocus as the subject moves, but really, that's not bad. That's pretty impressive, especially for a $25 camera. All right, yeah, like I said, this is later in the evening, so if this video seems a little bit out of order now, that's why. I'm going back to what I had recorded earlier now, so back into the flow of things. But there is a set of commands that you can run here to take control of the focus. And if we go into this directory here and then run this Python command, now we've got this control applet here where it says focus up, down arrow, and reset R. So we can go up, down, and then R will give us a reset. So yeah, this is pretty cool. And as far as like a webcam goes, we're getting some pretty nice bokeh back here as webcams go. Let's see what kind of separation we can get. I've got this remote about 6 to 8 inches away from the camera right now. So yeah, overall, I think it looks pretty good. I'm not sure what resolution this is by default. What I'm going to do is close out of these things and, well, close out of this one. And now I'm going to try to open the camera preview up in 1920 by 1080. And that appears to be working. Now that I still have this open. Yeah, I'm really kind of blown away by the autofocus quality of this small camera. So overall, I'm thinking this looks pretty good. One thing that I will say that I do like about this camera right away is that we're not getting crazy auto exposure and auto white balance out of the box. If I move my hand around, we're seeing a little bit of lighting compensation happening in the background here, but it's not to a crazy degree like you see with some webcams. Like, look at the gray in my wall here as I move around. You'll see there's some lighting changes, but it's not like an absurd, ridiculous amount. And I can set the white balance and I can set the exposure level to take care of that. So that's something that I'm not too worried about right now. It's something that I will fiddle around with later. That's about all I'm going to look at with this thing today. I think overall this thing is really awesome. It's going to be $25, and there's a Kickstarter that's starting on November 30th for this, and I'll put a link in the description for that Kickstarter. The other thing that I'm going to do with this is I'm going to do a follow-up video where I want to try to adapt this camera to my Raspberry Pi webcam here that I made. So that's going to be the next project coming up. But yeah, I don't have time to get to that today. Overall, I'm really impressed with this camera, but I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thank you so much for watching. That's it for now, and I'll see you next time.